Okay, we are live. Good evening. This is Attorney Vince Davis, and this
Does that
is
work
The
any
Secret:
better?
How to Fight CPS and Win CPS Trial Strategies.
Is that
Tonight
any
is
better at all?
trial strategies. Miss G, how are you, my
I
co-host?
can't hear. I can't
I
hear you
am
at all.
doing great. Thank you.
Okay. She does not have a good internet connection, and that is a problem.
hmm
So everyone, we had a guest tonight. Um, I thought our producer vetted the guest and their, internet connection, but it slipped through the cracks once again, and we're left without a guest tonight, Miss G. Miss G, tonight is trial strategies.
That's actually that's a good I really wanted to ask you a lot of questions about that. As we speak, I have like 15 text messages, literally 15 text messages about this show tonight.
Okay,
Um
what are your text messages?
okay, so during the in the trial, you cross examination, correct? You do cross examination?
You do direct and cross examination.
So direct and cross examination. Now, one of uh, I can't mention her name, but she asked if the parent have excellent visits with their children and the monitors that monitor the visits write good report about the visitation, would that help them in the cross examination?
It would help them in the case, not necessarily cross examination.
When the social worker denies that they're when the social worker denies that they are bad, when the social worker denies that good visits or bond with the children, can that affect them in any way? Can that be addressed during the trial?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so you would have to subpoena that social worker and the monitor,
Well, that would be the ideal thing to do. The other
right?
thing is to have them testify as well.
Correct. So that's very important. And I really hope you guys are listening to this. My next question is during the cross examination and the social worker is caught lying, what is your uh, what is your strategy on that? Like, what would you do, Mr. Davis? Would you address it to the judge, or would that help the case?
Yes, of course, if the social worker is caught lying, it definitely would help the case. It's not something that you do at the moment. Um, you save the argument for a closing argument and remind the judge that the social worker was caught lying.
Okay. During the cross examination with the sorry, he asked, "Can you cross examine the minor's counsel?"
No.
He texted, "Why not?" He's watching the show.
Well, attorneys generally, and it's not all the time, but generally cannot be witnesses in the case.
Mm-hmm.
So unless you wanted to ask him or her about something about the case that they have become a witness at, um, you can't call them. Just like, why would you call the man on the street? They don't know anything about the facts in the case.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes minors' counsels make themselves a witnesses inadvertently. And if they make themselves a witness, they can become part of the case. And I've seen, over the years, I've seen judges go both ways on it, allowing to call the minors' counsel as a witness and not allowing to call the minors' counsel as witness. It's in the discretion of the court. But let me put some framework to all of this because you're kind of asking me random questions. In a trial, I don't, first of all, I'm going to assume that nobody knows what a trial is.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen it on TV, but you really don't know what's going on. There's different, it's like a football game. There's different quarters: first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, halftime. So you got to put a framework with respect to, what a trial is. And here's generally what a trial is in CPS court. It starts with the judge asking all of the attorneys if they care to make an opening statement.
Mm-hmm.
And generally, an opening statement is a summary of what each attorney is going to produce in through evidence during the trial. So it's called opening statement, it's called opening argument, but it's an opening statement. And, a lot of times in CPS cases, attorneys skip the opening statement. And there is a reason why. Sometimes strategically, you don't want to show your hand as to what evidence is going to come out. I can't remember, it's been so long that I have seen an opening statement in a CPS case. After you get past the opening statement, the social worker and her attorney put forth their case in chief. In other words, all the evidence they have to prosecute the parent or parents. The first thing that they're going to do is introduce all the social worker reports, and they're all hearsay. But in California, they're allowed by statute to be considered into evidence.
Mm-hmm.
You do have a right to cross-examine the social worker to test her veracity, bias, and truthfulness, with respect to those court reports. So most of the time, social workers' attorneys introduce a long list of social worker reports into evidence. Boom. Judge asks, any objection? Most people say no objection. I generally say, I object to their admissibility subject to cross examination on the issue of bias and credibility. Okay. So if they're found to be not credible or bias
Mm-hmm.
in the cross examination, those reports may not come in. But if you don't make that objection, they're coming in whether the social worker was biased or not.
Mm-hmm.
Some people don't believe that that is a real difference. In my mind, it's a technical difference, but a lot of people will tell you six of one, half a dozen of the other.
Okay.
Once the social worker's attorney puts in those the exhibits, he or she then has the opportunity to call witnesses. Okay. Now, here's something that every parent, relative who has a CPS case should know, and that is a smart prosecuting attorney, a smart county counsel will call the parent as their witness.
Okay, that's a good point you just made right now. The reason I'm asking, the reason I said that is because um, oftentimes the people that call me, they say that their their court appointed attorney is telling them they shouldn't be on the stand.
Okay. That has nothing to do with what I'm talking about.
Oh, it doesn't? Okay, I'm sorry. Maybe I missed something. Okay.
Right. That
I,
is an issue. That is an issue, but we'll talk about it later. All right. So, for example, if there are criminal charges pending against you for, let's say, sex abuse. Hold on, everyone. Miss G's going to get that. You need to take that call, Miss G? Okay. So, where was I? Oh, yes, I remember. sometimes the parent may not want to testify in the case, and they may get on the stand and they may take the fifth, which basically says, I refuse to testify based on the grounds it may incriminate me. And if you take the fifth through the whole testimony, it doesn't look good for you credibility wise. But let's say there's no criminal involvement in this, and the county council calls the parents as witnesses. In a lot of cases, social workers attorneys won't do that because they feel that they've completed and proved their case by all the reports, right? Because the parent doesn't have any witnesses, any reports to put in generally, so they're going to win if you don't put forth a defense. So after the social worker's attorney finishes their case, it becomes the minor's attorney. And the minor's attorney can call their witnesses. Now, going back to the social worker's attorney, there's something I should say. A lot of times, social workers' attorneys will call police officers to the stand. And generally, police officers come to court wearing their uniform and their badge and their gun, looking all official and, tending to a lot of trier of facts to be found to be, credible and true, whatever they say. I saw him walk on water. Oh, really? You're a policeman. We really believe you. That type of thing. Now, when the social worker's attorney asks questions of her witnesses, it's called direct examination. And one of the things that you have to be careful about in direct examination is you cannot let the social worker's attorney lead the witness. So here's an example of a leading question. Georgette, isn't it true that you have a gold or yellow jacket on tonight? That's a leading question. And you can't ask leading questions on direct examination. Okay? So the better question, if I were a social worker's attorney, would be, Miss G, what color is the jacket you're wearing tonight? Oh, it's yellow. But if I ask you the leading question, Miss G, isn't your jacket yellow? All you have to do is say yes. And what happens is when you ask leading questions, it becomes basically the social worker's attorney testifying. Isn't it true that the mother, injured the baby? That's a leading question.
That's a leading question, right?
Yeah. So, and a lot of social workers' attorneys do this because they can get away with it because nobody objects to it. I'm finishing a trial tomorrow in San Francisco, and when the case started, the county counsel, the prosecuting attorney, didn't know me at all. Didn't know if I knew anything about juvenile dependency or trials,
Mm-hmm.
and he started asking leading questions,
Mm-hmm.
and I said I objected. Everyone in the courtroom was surprised. And the reason why it became important because it soon became obvious that this person didn't know how to ask direct examination questions without leading the witness, improperly leading the witness. The reason why that's important is because it kind of throws the prosecutor off their game, right?
Mm-hmm.
It kind of interrupts their storytelling. And then sometimes, you'll ask a social worker, and if it's not leading, social worker doesn't know what to say. She doesn't know whether to tell the truth, not tell the truth, you know, give it a little exaggeration, you know. So that's why you got to make sure in the trial that you don't allow the social worker's attorney to ask leading questions on direct examination. Now, after the direct examination of the social worker or the county counsel, the prosecutor's witnesses, every attorney on the case has the right to conduct cross-examination. Now, in cross-examination, you can ask leading questions. So I can ask you, isn't it true, Miss G, you're wearing a yellow sweater? That's proper cross examination. I can lead you because you're a hostile witness. And the theory is that if you're a hostile witness and I'm asking you leading questions, you'll tell the truth.
Right.
Okay. So here's a question that came up in the trial. I always ask the social worker, "Isn't it true my client's not a danger to this child?" Yeah, it's true. Well, theoretically, if they say that, they just lost the disposition hearing because they can't prove by clear and convincing evidence that my client's a substantial danger to the child. But I digress. After the social worker calls all of their witnesses and they get a chance to be cross examination, the same thing repeats for the minor's attorney, the same thing repeats for the parent's attorney, mother, and then father's attorney. And then, after all the direct and cross examination and all the documents have been introduced into evidence, um, there's closing argument. And then the judge makes a decision. So you can see by definition, there's a lot of things going on in these cases where strategy, can make a difference. You follow? Okay.
But in a normal cross examination, and if they're leading the witness, the other side, of course, um, wouldn't the judge? I mean, I've heard like maybe it's not the same thing, but on Johnny Depp trial, for example, the judge would object if they're leading the witness. Sometimes,
Okay.
I heard her.
Judges have the discretion to object themselves or not allow a question.
Mhm.
Um, Theoretically, people are surprised when the judges get active in a case,
Right,
wanting to ask their own questions sometimes.
right.
The and they're allowed to do that. The base theory though is judge only makes decisions, doesn't get involved in the process. So you have since the beginning of our country, you have a liberal and a conservative point of view. Conservative judges tend to keep silent and just make a decision on the facts presented by all the parties. Liberal judges sometimes tend to ask a lot of questions because they are trying to get to the truth and they don't think the parties may or the attorneys may be doing a good job at it.
Right.
I've had that happen to me
Mm.
over the years where the prosecutor wasn't doing a good job and proving his or her case. And I was, effective in keeping some evidence out, getting some evidence in when they should have objected and they didn't. And then the judge starts asking questions. But it's legal. That's their prerogative. They have the discretion because they wear the black robe, and we as a society have given them that power. How they exercise it, either conservatively or liberally, that's up to them. Okay. And I want to tell you again, it's legal. So don't complain about it. If you want to complain about it, you should go and change the laws. You should have a law. Judges can ask any question, or judges can't ask any question, right?
Mhm. Okay. What can the attorney do if not all the evidence wasn't presented and the judge made a ruling without it?
The attorney could ask for a recess to talk to their attorney, or the parent could ask for a confidential bench, approach the bench with everyone out of the room to complain about their attorney. You know, my attorney is ineffective assistance. I gave my attorney such and such evidence. If they don't say anything, it's too bad. They're just going to lose. You know, a lot of people have to be insistent on their attorney. Now, here's a really tough thing. What if an attorney tells you, I don't want to bring that up because it's going to hurt your case, not help it? Who should make the final decision?
The judge.
The judge is not involved in it. Judge is not going to say, yeah, that's going to help you, or no, that's not going to help you. That's not the judge's job.
Hmm.
So, it becomes very,
Sticky.
kind of sticky. Yeah, exactly.
Now, what if
Well, well, hold on. I want to tell you something. I've had clients, and you've seen this in court when you've gone to me with court a few times. There are clients that insist I do something that is either illegal or not appropriate or not
unethical?
not under the law.
Hmm.
I have an obligation to tell the client, no, get out of here. And then the client may go, and say, oh, Davis doesn't know what he's doing,
Hmm. I've
right?
seen it. Yep.
So I'll tell you, we're in juvenile court here in California.
Hmm.
There is no right to a jury trial. None.
I know.
I've had clients over the years, a few here and there, insist that I request a jury trial.
I know. I witnessed that one of that clients.
You can't do that. I mean, I could get booted out of court,
Yep.
reprimanded,
Yep.
sanctioned, whatever, by trying to do something that I clearly know is not the law.
I
So
know.
a lot of clients think, different things, and I understand it. But, when people get a lawyer, all right, they should be comfortable with that lawyer, him or her, and they should, have some faith in that lawyer. Here's the really interesting question, because I've been doing this so long. When a person gets a court appointed attorney, they expect that they have Johnny Cochran. That's what they expect. That's not the law. It's not the law in California. When you take a court appointed attorney, you do not and should not expect Johnny Cochran. Now people say, why is that? Because that's just the law. And that there aren't many Johnny Cochrans out there. Well, what kind of lawyer do you get? You get somebody that has some experience and has a law license. That's what you
Mhm.
get. Now, here's the trick. If you want something more than a warm body, a law license, and somebody with just some experience who may not care one way or the other, you got to go out and hire another lawyer. You got to spend your money. See, the law only gives you a court appointed attorney because it doesn't want you and your rights to be just trampled upon. But
Uh,
that doesn't mean you get the best lawyer in town. That doesn't mean that you get a lawyer that's going to do everything, the right way. If you want that, you have to go out and hire that. And I'm
yeah.
just telling you what the law is.
Yeah, I understand the law. I get it. I get it. But I kind of choked a little bit when you said that they're trying to help families, giving them a. But the system is designed
Well,
to
wait, wait,
fail.
wait, wait, wait. Think about it. What's better? You represent yourself,
Uh huh.
or you have just an average run of the mill attorney?
Me represent myself.
No, you're completely wrong. You know why? Because you don't know the law. You don't know evidence. You don't know procedure. You don't know anything.
Neither does the court-appointed attorney, apparently.
No, they do.
They
Whether
just don't
they,
implement it.
well, maybe they're implementing it the way they want to.
Okay, you make excuses. I don't.
No,
I
no, I'm not
I
making
don't
excuses.
make
I'm
excuses.
telling you I'm telling you over thousands of cases. I'm telling you as, 20 years ago, a court-appointed attorney myself.
Well, you're not them. Just
But
because
it
you
doesn't
were a
it doesn't matter,
court-appointed
it doesn't
attorney
matter.
yourself, it doesn't mean anything.
But here's the thing, the point I'm making, and this is not a popular point, by the way.
It's not about popularity, Mr.
Okay,
Davis. It's about
but he
justice.
but here it is. No, 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 no.
Okay, fine. It's
Justice
not about
what
justice.
what
Fine.
is what justice? Justice? What is
I
justice?
understand that, but they need to do their job.
No, no,
Period.
no. No, no. You think they need to do your job. That's something in your own mind and heart. The law doesn't even require them to be Johnny Cochran. So how do you take a first year lawyer and compare that to Johnny Cochran? You can't.
I know that.
You can't. But the law says we're going to appoint you that first year lawyer. And we've done our job by helping you protect your rights. If you want something more, and this is what people don't want to hear and they don't understand, if you want something more, you better go buy it yourself. Well, I can't afford it. You know, unfortunately, that's our system. You know where we learn that the best example of that? The people of California versus O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson has a court appointed attorney. He would have gone to prison for killing two people. O.J. Simpson spent all his money and hired the best lawyers he could. He had a legal team that hasn't that nobody's seen the likes of it since. And at the head of the legal team, Johnny Cochran.
Oh, I love that man. Yeah.
Two attorneys from his office, both are very well-known attorneys now. Carl Douglas and I forget the woman's name. They're great attorneys now. You didn't hear about them, but you heard about Barry Scheck,
Yeah, Barry Sheck. Yeah.
one of the best attorneys at the time regarding scientific evidence.
Hmm.
There's a lot of scientific evidence in that case. Then you had F. Lee Bailey, one of the greatest attorneys ever, right? I mean, so think of that team. Think of that. O.J. Simpson went out and bought himself a victory. It's true. I said it. If O.J. Simpson had settled for a court appointed attorney, there would have been a different outcome. Now, in life, in fairness, maybe the world shouldn't be that way. We can argue about that forever, but it is. And now the question becomes, what are you going to do about it? You going to sit here and complain and woe is me? Or are you going to change some laws? Or are you going to go hire your own attorney?
Well, we all need to change the laws. I mean, we all need to do
No,
that.
but that's talk. That's just cheap talk. Because nobody's willing to do it. Because you know why? It takes a lot of hard work and it costs a lot of money to change laws. So we're just gonna,
Actually,
call
it's
up call up Davis and tell him how I'm getting screwed over. But there's something you could do.
you can also change the laws when you have the right connection,
Okay.
the right connection that will guide you. And
There's something, but there's something you can do to win your case. If you don't like your attorney, get another one. Now, I can't afford to get another one. Okay. Well, you're just like everyone else in our country who gets a court appointed attorney. You're going to get screwed, or the chances are you're going to get screwed. And
yep,
I've told you this before. You know, I've been doing this a long time, and I have seen very good court appointed attorneys.
that was years ago,
No,
Davis.
no, it's still true today.
No,
I know some guys and gals that are court appointed attorneys right now that I would hire tomorrow.
I used. Oh, I'm sorry. We have to wait for Mr. Davis. He just got a call.
No, no, I was moving something.
No, no,
My,
really? Oh,
my
okay.
notes,
Yeah, okay.
my notes.
Mm. So such a good attorney. You're so good. You're so good. You're so good. You're so good. No, but seriously, I don't believe court-appointed attorneys.
I know you don't believe it.
Mm-mm. I
I know
think
you
they're
don't believe
just useless. They're just a Louis
You know
Vuitton bag.
what? I'm going to tell you something, and
Mm.
this is a great example. You went to an appointment today regarding what I will call a legal service. I told you not to go, and you said, "No, I'm going. You know, this is what I do." And you tell me some things that the guy tells you that aren't true. They're not. They're just factually inaccurate.
Right, but then what did I do? I asked
But
you. I
wait,
I
you
told
went
you the
you
information.
you went for free legal advice. I told you not to go, and you get screwed. You waste a half a day. Okay? So listen, I've been around the block a few times. All right. Have I ever made a mistake? Yeah, I have. And
Of
I
course
always
you
do.
have. You
I
hired me. That's how you
I
made a mistake.
I put my pants on one
You
leg
hear
at a
that?
time. I put my pants on one leg at a time. But generally, the odds are if I tell you something, you can take it to the bank. You can take it to the bank.
It's just I don't understand you when you say it. You
I know
you sound
you're
so
not gonna
vague.
understand. Look, how many times did I tell you, don't talk to the social worker before you believe me? Now
No,
that took
that's
about 3
other
years.
people. You're not.
That took about
You're
3
not.
years for me to get that through your head.
What do you? Well, first of all, I've always believed that you're not supposed to talk to the social worker. I don't understand why are you putting me on the spot tonight, but
Well, I'm
I
just
always
giving you an
believe that.
example. You
Example that works. I already know not to talk. I hate social workers. I
you
can't.
know that now. You know that now.
No, no, no. I've always known that. The what point I'm trying to make today, right now, the here and now. I don't even know why you put like. What am I being cross-examined? I mean, what the fudge, Davis? I'm trying not to cuss because I'm doing my prayer shows now. I'm trying to be nice.
Look who's underdog. I love your banter. Hey, here's one. Can I ask a question? Tay, go ahead.
Ask the question,
Ask
baby.
your question.
I know who Tay is.
Here's one. What can I do if not all
Oh,
the evidence
you
was
already
agreed?
answered that.
Yeah.
You answered that. You already answered Christina's question, but Tay has a question. I know she texted me. Maybe she texted me the question. Hold on. I think most of you guys have my cell number. Hold on. Uh, nah, wasn't a question. It was more. I want to be on your show again. Okay.
Okay.
Um.
Tay says, I did a mediation agreement today. Okay. Tay,
Okay.
what's the
Tay,
question?
what's the question, baby?
By the way, I want to tell you something.
Yeah.
In a lot of trials, there should be some type of witness preparation. Tay says, and I'm wondering if that was a good decision. Tay, in order to tell you whether it's a good decision or not, I'd have to know the facts of your case, the allegations against you, the evidence against you, what defense you had. I'd have to kind of review everything to tell you whether it was a good idea. Sometimes mediation is great, sometimes it's not. It just depends. You know, if I were a doctor, Tay, and you said, hey, do I need open heart surgery? And I never looked at your medical chart, what kind of doctor do you think I'd be? A quack. So it's the same thing for lawyers, Tay. I can't tell you. Okay, Christina says, is there a way I can get your cell number, Miss G?
You know what, Christina? Yes, there is a way to get my cell number. I'm just afraid to post it online and everybody and their mother call me if I'm out of nowhere. I don't know. Yes, you can have my cell number. Absolutely.
Tay says, I agreed to close my CPS case and I agreed to joint custody with a family member. Okay, well, at least you're not. I mean, at least you're getting your child back. At least joint 50%. You know, whether that's good or bad, I still can't tell you, Tay. Christina totally understands.
Should I just post my cell number?
It's up to you.
No, just do it. Just do it.
Melissa Gonzalez says, "My case is over. My child grandmother has guardianship. What is the next step?" The next step, if you're in California, probably in most states, I don't know, but in California, the next step is to complete the case plan and then file a petition to terminate the guardianship to get the child back.
And Melissa, I told you that, honey, and you should have your uncle do that because I said they're in agreement already. And
What is your number? What's your mobile number?
310
Hmm.
462 5062. And please, guys, don't call me thinking that I know who you are. Just text me first. Let me know who you are. Give me your full name. Let me know what the call or what it is that you need to speak to me about. Okay, so be mindful, please. I can't read your minds. But Melissa um, is I told her that we have to file a motion, right?
You have to file a petition to
A
terminate
petition to
guardianship.
terminate guardianship, right?
But
And
here's the thing, Melissa.
but wait, the guardianship was given by CPS though,
Yeah,
juvenile justice,
you have to file it in juvenile court.
right? Because it was a family law case that was turned ugly. The father is the one that reported her because he was trying to get away from paying child support. That's how it happened. And of course, CPS, ran with it and gave the child to the grandmother, to the paternal grandmother. Yeah.
Christina says, "No, you don't have to post it here." Too late, Christina. It's posted. Melissa says, "Thank you." Is Melissa in California?
Mhm.
Okay. Well, you should make an appointment for her to talk to me.
I will, but her uncle, I believe, is going to show up. He went to the wrong address, the old address we had today, and then he had to
Mm,
go to work. And
mm,
then he told Melissa, and Melissa said he went to the 150 address instead of the 440 address.
right. You know,
So I,
I had an appointment today at 4:30. Client was late, but and the client had been to my office before. The
yep,
new, you know,
I know who she is. I know who they are.
the Huntington address.
Mm-hmm.
And she went to the old address looking for me, wasted a lot of time over there. So for some reason, that my old address must be someplace on the internet. People
It's
just
everywhere on the internet.
yeah,
It
yeah,
hasn't gone down yet from
no,
Google search.
yeah. My old that was my old address.
Yeah. So that's why I think we should have the new address on the shows somewhere.
You know, that's a
Yeah.
good point. Tay says my attorney told me I can have those orders modified in the future. Tay, it's true, you can. But what you might not have been told is it's hard to do.
Hayes in Texas, though. Keep that in mind.
Is that true? Yeah, it's true. But the degree of difficulty, has that been explained to you? You know, is it a 1 or is it a 10? You know, Tay, we connected with an attorney in Texas. Is his name Matthew?
Matthew Harris, correct.
Matthew Harris. Google Matthew Harris, attorney in Texas. Tay, give him a call. He's a real player in the CPS world. Okay, Miss G, do you have any other questions? There's my address right there. 440 East Huntington Drive,
Was
Suite.
this always here on the show?
No, I think Grace put it up.
Grace, you're so awesome. I love you. Um, is there any way we can put it where it doesn't move so people can see it all the time? It just doesn't run in
Hey
circles.
everyone, write this web address down. freecpsreport.com. Go check that out after the show, freecps.com. And if you're hardcore, check out this website, suecps.info. suecps.info.
That's very good link, by the way. I love that one. SueCPS.info. That's very good. And also, guys, Don't ever believe that you cannot sue a social worker. Yes, you can. I mean, she's not going to lose her job or anything like that, but it would be nice for an attorney to get her in prison, though. Is that
Rebecca,
possible?
Rebecca watching on Facebook says, "Hello. I have a court next week. It's in family court due to grandma not follow the contract, but now the worker want to meet with me to go over the case that been closed for over 3 years. Do I meet with the worker tomorrow?"
No.
Well, Rebecca, if you're in California,
Mm-mm.
um, consult an attorney. Generally, I would say no, or meet with the worker with your attorney. That's probably the best thing. Here is Melinda. I have been trying to get a hold of you. My son is locked up, and they adopted my grandbaby. Hmm. Melinda, I just posted Miss G's number, and if you look at our screen, bottom right hand
I'm
corner,
regretting it now. No, I was kidding.
888 888 6582. You can, Melinda, you can contact me at that number. Of course, if you call after hours, they're going to take a message, and we'll get back to you. M can't really read this name. M. Mali, the father.
Mhm.
I'm the non-offending parent, and they continue to deny me custody. Okay, now I'm not being facetious when I say this. You need to get a good lawyer who has experience in CPS cases. Um, it's I will say it's almost impossible for a non-offending parent to be denied the child. Okay.
Wait. Did you just say it's almost impossible?
Yes, I
Because
did.
it happened to Michael. It happened to so
I
many
hold on,
men
hold
I
on.
spoke
I
with.
told Michael. Michael was on the show. I told him. And if you remember, Michael, I hope you're listening and don't take offense. I told Michael what to do, and guess what? He told me right on the show in a nice way he wasn't going to take my advice. You don't remember that, do you? I
No, I
told
don't remember
Yeah,
that.
I told him to file a 388 petition yesterday, and he told me he wanted to wait until the next progress report hearing
But we told them not to
because
wait.
his theory was that he was working well with the social worker. Like, when have you heard that before?
Hmm.
Right? And I didn't say it then. I don't want to make anybody feel bad, but I just have a bad feeling about him. He's not going to get his kid. If he had his kid, or if he was going to get his kid, he would have it. He'd have the child now. He was non-offending, and he reported the abuse by the mother, which turned out to be true. But he doesn't have the child, and nobody in his family has the child. You know what that translates to? We ain't giving you the child. We're gonna string you along. We're gonna stroke you, and we're gonna steal that baby from you.
Yep. Because it's not right. If the father did nothing, he's I don't get it. I get it. It's some money. They want to adopt the
Yeah.
baby. I get
See,
that.
here, this guy is just like Michael. My daughter's in a foster home because of her mother, right? That's
Hmm.
Michael's story, and
Hmm.
I don't know what to do.
And he
Well,
said he hired a lawyer.
Michael said that he knew what to do, and that was to work with the social worker, who apparently was on his side. And I tried to tell him, if you don't have the child, social worker's not on your side. I don't care how
No,
nice she is to you.
never.
Okay. And Molly says, I hired a lawyer, but he's not fighting hard enough. I understand he's not Johnny Cochran, but something has to be done.
But is he a juvenile dependency attorney? I mean,
I
a lot of
don't
people,
know.
a lot of you guys
Look,
hire family law attorneys, though.
hey, Michael, I have a very good friend who is one hell of a criminal trial attorney. He doesn't do CPS cases. Now, if he did, he'd be taking your money and, you'd be wasting it. Just because the guy's a lawyer doesn't mean he knows how to do CPS cases.
He said he's in Ohio.
Google knows all, even in Ohio, if you're looking for a great
Google
CPS
doesn't know
attorney.
shit. Google gives you the information
I'm
Google
in
wants
Ohio.
you to know.
All right.
Google knows all. Why do you always say that?
It's true.
It's not true. Google can also diagnose you.
Look, you don't know anything about the internet. You can't even spell internet. You're like the least tech person in my office.
All right, Mr. Davis. All right. I'm going to pray for you tonight.
Please do.
Yeah.
Burn a candle for me.
No, I'm going to break something for you
But
and then burn it.
don't take out that voodoo doll though.
That's exactly what I'm taking out. The voodoo doll that I have for you, Mr. Davis.
All right. Hey, we've come to the end of the show. And
Our
your show's
show's right
about
after
does your show start at 8 or 8:30?
8 because it's too late for people. 8:30. That's
Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays tonight.
no.
Miss
I'm not
G,
doing it on Wednesdays anymore. It has to be.
Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Miss G, that's Thursdays tonight. Miss G has a prayer show for CPS
I'm not
families and
doing
pets.
Wednesdays, and you know why? I'm not doing Wednesdays. I changed the date with. I'm changing the date with Grace. She will add another day, but not not Wednesdays.
My daughter's 12. Please, I'll pay for a consultation if I have to. You guys are awesome and I appreciate it. Hey, man, thank you very much. You can get in touch with Georgette, Miss G. We posted in the comments. You're watching on YouTube. So go to the YouTube comments. You'll see Miss G's telephone number. Call her, text her. She'll set that up for you. I know you're desperate. Miss G's going to set that up. Her telephone number is in the comments on YouTube
That is
tonight.
sad.
Tonight,
That
you
is
know.
very sad. This
So
is
look in the
sad.
comments for tonight, and you'll see her telephone number. Text her, okay, my man. All right, Miss G. It's been fun as usual.
Of course,
Tomorrow,
I'm your entertainment.
tomorrow. Well, it's kind of like TV. Got to have some entertainment.
Yeah, I'm your entertainment, Mr. Davis. Yeah. That's this. It's so obvious. I appreciate you too, Tay. She's such a sweetheart. Melissa, thank you so much. Melissa's hiring us tomorrow.
I like the way Melissa said, "Thank you, Mr. Davis," and then
Yeah.
Miss G.
Oh my
Yeah, that priority just right.
oh my god.
Okay, folks. Good night. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow night at 7 p.m.
I'll see you guys in a few minutes if you're gonna follow my prayer
Oh
show
yeah,
at 8.
stay tuned because on I think on the same platform, social media platforms, Miss G is going to do her CPS show, her CPS prayer show tonight. So tune in for that. I've heard good reviews about that show. All right, thank you again, Miss G. I'll let you go. Bye bye.
Bye.